You're not fucking lying about that one, pal. Anyway. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another action-packed episode. Well, I'm lying because this isn't going to be very action-packed, if I'll be very frank with you. This is episode 58 of Warring to Attitude. I am your host, Brent Piles. With me, of course, is my co-host, Thurman Sparky Plug, as you can see right here on my lap. And with us, as always, is a man who's from the ocean, across the ocean. He's not from the ocean. He's not Aquaman. I don't have Aquaman here with me. He is from across the ocean and from the future. He is the ballroom brawling, disco dancing, dynamite stretching, intercontinental playboy. Folks, he's more over than Aquaman because Aquaman's not very over for me. At G.A. Russell, not Glenn Abbott, or Glenn Armbar Abbott, whatever you want to call him. I have trouble with my words. Glenn, you talk now.
I'm struggling to breathe at the moment, so Aquaman's probably right. Because there's not much hair in here.
Yeah, as you can see here, Glenn's got a haircut. He's not a day hairier anymore.
I'll tell you what. Soon as the mayor noticed it, that was the time to get my hair cut.
Yeah, the mayor doesn't notice a lot, and I don't say that in a mean way. He's just a busy guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
When he said last week, you need to get your hair cut, I thought, it's time.
I don't think he said it like that because the mayor's too nice to say it like that. He probably said like, "Oh, Glenn, your hair's getting long," or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Well, anyway, I thought, it's time. It's time. It's time to get a haircut.
It's haircut. Tap, 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 tap.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, how are we feeling about the Premier League, Glenn? Are you feeling like me? Do you feel like there's not a shot in hell that Manchester City is going to lose to fucking anybody, and we're going to finish in second by 1 point? That's okay.
I don't know. Fulham are such an unpredictable team. They're not going to lose to Tottenham. Let's face it. That is a definite cert that they're not going to lose to Tottenham.
Absolutely not.
But Fulham are so unpredictable. They could nick a point.
So I watch a lot of teams, but Fulham is not a team that I've watched a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I of course watched the games we've played against them. I think we had a draw with them 2-2, right?
Yep.
And I've seen people saying that, if we lose the league by 1 point, we're going to be kicking ourselves for drawing with City. And I'm like, no, you're going to be kicking yourselves for losing to. You're going to kick yourself for losing to Villa twice. You're going to kick yourself for losing to West Ham, and you're going to kick yourself for tying with Fulham, and that fucking out of bounds call that we should have got against Newcastle. You're going to think about all of those before you think anything of City.
Yeah. you get 4 points in a season from the most destructive club side in the world, and you have to take that.
Yeah.
3 at home and 1 away. You have to take that.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the one I'm going to be kicking myself about, Glenn, if we don't.
No, of course not.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm not going to be kicking myself anyway.
I was just going to say I'm not going to be kicking myself at all.
Because this season has been a remarkable improvement on last season. So why can't he just get that extra Declan Rice that makes the team tick a bit more?
Yeah.
To actually get us up to that City level, because we're nearly there.
Yeah, I think we just need. You think the number 9 is the answer? Or do you think it's something else?
Well, we definitely need somebody that can either start or come on and score goals.
Yeah. Consistently.
Consistently.
You got to give the wingers some help for us. You got to give Saka some help, and
I
know a lot of people are saying like maybe they would get rid of Jesus, but I think Jesus is just fine playing on either side. I think he's better on either side than he is at a 9. So I don't think you need to I don't think getting rid of him is the answer, because I think he brings a lot to the team, honestly.
Can you believe that when Thierry Henry started, they said that about him as well after a season? Why do we need another winger? We'll get rid of him.
Well,
thankfully, Arsene Wenger disagreed.
Yeah, that worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely worked out. But we got a big one on Sunday too. We go to Old Trafford and take on Manchester City, and I know that they just got beat up on by Palace, but to me that doesn't ever mean anything because if you're playing a team like Manchester City, you always got to go in with the mindset that it's going to be a tough game.
It's even United we're playing, but yeah.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry, I got Manchester City on my brain.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I meant
But
United.
Yeah, it's not going to be the shoo-in that people think it is, but they should still come away with 3 points.
Don't get me wrong. If they want to go out there and win 6-0, I'll be fucking fine with that. But I just don't think that.
I'm the one with the narrowing arteries. I can't afford these close games.
I know. It's like the one time when you were in the hospital and they were in the Champions League game. I said maybe just go ahead and don't watch it.
I did watch it, unfortunately.
I know you did. I know you did, pal. I know you did. But yeah, there you go. There's some football talk for you. Unless you got anything further you want to discuss.
No. We'll just see how it goes now over the next couple of weeks.
We will wait with bated breath.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have some time off. And then the Euros will be starting next month. So
yes,
that'll be fun.
Everybody can laugh at England then instead of Arsenal.
Oh, come on, Glenn. We know it'll probably. Well, they made it to the final of the last one, buddy. You never know.
Well, I think that's as good as it gets.
You're probably right, Glenn. You're probably right. I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight. Obviously, in the Euros, my country doesn't compete in the European Championships. Obviously, because we're not in Europe. We are in the Copa America, which will be taking on the likes of Argentina and Brazil at some point. Which I don't like the odds of us winning any of those matches.
I enjoy that, especially the referee from the CONCACAF referee.
Oh yeah, that's the same time. I think it starts like a couple of days after the Euros do. So got a lot of football to watch this summer.
That's the standard of the refereeing in those matches is something else.
I think you equated it to the Mid-South territory. The
CONCACAF. Yeah, that's right.
Definitely. But so I'm probably going to root for England in that tournament. I mean, Saka's on my back, so he plays for England, so I wouldn't root for him. But at the same time, there's guys who play for England that I don't like Harry Maguire and his stupid. He looks like Jay Leno. Do you know who Jay Leno is?
Yes, I do know.
Harry Maguire looks like fucking Jay Leno's illegitimate son.
Yeah, I can see that. Without the grey hair.
And like Jack Grealish, and I hate Kyle Walker's face, and
Phil Foden.
So over time, as I've watched Phil Foden, I still don't like his face, but I've grown to respect the way he plays because he's really good.
You don't want to punch his face anymore. You just respect him now.
I mean, when he's playing Arsenal or he's doing something that hurts Arsenal, I want to punch his face. But other than that, I'm like, man, that guy's really, really good. He is very, very good. So, but yeah, there you go. We will discuss football further, I'm sure, in the coming weeks as things really become nerving, even though every week is nerving. If they're not up by at least 2 goals, Glenn, I'm losing my mind. One goal is not even gonna. One goal is good enough for about 30 seconds until they start kicking the ball again, and then one goal is no longer good enough.
No. It's hold your breath every time the opposition get the ball, even if it's in their own penalty area.
We hold the ball for 90% of the game, but I'm still fucking sweating every bullet when they get that 10%.
And the thing is, we've got the best defense in the league by quite a considerable amount.
Yeah.
Yet we're just so conditioned that they're going to self-destruct.
Yeah, I mean, even on that game against Bournemouth, I thought for sure that when they were up 2 and then they scored that one. I was like, oh god. But luckily they took that off the board, which during the TV broadcast over here, they were like, oh, he just bumped him a little. They should take that back. I'm like, he hooked his arm. Like, they didn't even talk about the fact that he hooked his arm. But luckily the post-game show, they did talk about it.
Yeah, it was definitely a push.
Yeah. But you're talking to an Arsenal fan and a former goalkeeper, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into this, Glenn. Unfortunately, we got to talk about the wrestling. It is Raw's War from November the 17th, 1997. We are at the Civic Complex in Cornwall, Ontario, Canada. The Cornwall Civic Complex is now known as the Ed Lumley Arena And not a whole lot to note from this arena, Glenn. The WWF recorded 3 shows on December the 10th, 1991. This Monday Night Raw in 97, along with the taping of Shotgun Saturday Night, and that's it. I tried to find events for this, but all I could find was some weird kids event on May 26th. And of course, they play hockey there because they play hockey at every arena in Canada.
Yeah. This is a typical rather than doing the AEW thing of booking huge arenas and then having them half full. At least Vince at this time was shrewd enough to book sort of places that only held 3,500 and pack 3,500 into it.
Yeah, and I think that had to do a lot. Now, they weren't making as much on like TV deals and shit like that.
No.
Now, honestly, the arena that they sell on Monday Night Raw doesn't mean anything compared to the television dollars that they bring in when they go on air. They could fucking sell 10 tickets and it wouldn't fucking matter. And I'm sure it's probably the same thing for AEW.
Yeah.
And that's probably the difference between now and then. I mean, they do sell good tickets, and I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying if they didn't, it still wouldn't matter because they're still making money.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the show starts with a recap of what happened last week with the weird ending of the Shamrock Triple H match that somehow ended with him beating Shawn Michaels.
I'm glad they went over that again because they confused the hell out of me last week.
So yeah, because it wasn't
not a lot better this week, but understood it a bit more.
Yeah, yeah. So now it was the Sarge who counted the 3, even though he's not a referee. But whatever. The new Intercontinental Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin, makes his way out to the ring to start the show. He asks the crowd if anybody wants to see Rocky Maivia get his ass whooped. Give him a hell yeah. Of course, everybody does. He calls him out. He says he can bring anybody he wants with him. So, of course, the entire nation comes. They all come down to the ring. They surround the ring. And while the Rock stuns, Austin stuns D'Lo, the Rock then hits the ring and steals the Intercontinental Championship belt.
Yeah.
Very sneaky.
This is the start of the real Rock.
Yeah.
Let somebody take the stunner and nip through and nick the gold.
Yeah. Very good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I believe this leads to the throwing off of the bridge, I think, in coming months, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
Austin says he'll have to bring the belt back. He'll get the belt back when the Rock goes through security at the airport. He then tells us that he's going to hear from McMahon, or we're going to hear. He didn't tell us this. They tell us that we're going to hear from Mr. McMahon about the Bret Hart situation, and show us that Butterbean is in the crowd once again, Glenn.
Yes. Another oh god.
And that can't be happy for one Mark Marrow.
No.
Speaking of one Mark Marrow, he's in the opening match, Glenn, against the King, Jerry Lawler.
Mm-hmm.
A dream match of yours, isn't that?
Oh god, yeah. Why? I suppose that's to give Jerry Lawler something to do because they had Jim Cornette contracted for the 2 hours.
Yeah, or something. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know if they were like ready to commit to King being out there like with JR full time or what, but yeah, so I don't know. Obviously, Sable's the most over person out here. Unfortunately, did Brian Christopher come out on commentary?
He was out there. He wasn't really on commentary.
Okay, I remember now because they were talking about how
Sable.
like Mark Marrow and Brian Christopher had a match like a month ago. Do you remember that, Glenn?
No, but
why would I? And apparently Jerry Lawler has been itching for revenge ever since, even though it was a long time ago.
Okay. It must have been on Saturday night or something.
Or it was on Raw and it wasn't good and we just don't remember.
There's that possibility, of course.
And they also tell us that Sable got kicked in the head by her horse. Which good Lord, she's lucky she didn't die.
Well, this is of all the things that they could sell for a black eye, but being kicked in the head by a horse, that's serious injury.
Yeah, you're looking at more than a black eye. You're probably looking at a fucking fracture. You know what I mean?
That's right, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen anybody get kicked by a horse, but that shit don't look like it doesn't hurt.
No.
Shit looks like it's very dangerous.
They're big old beasts anyway, and then you put iron under on their feet. If they kick you, you know about it.
Yeah, you can't trust a horse.
No.
Their shoes are permanent, Glenn. Who makes that kind of commitment to a shoe
Yeah,
anyway?
that's right.
Horses. I'm just kidding. The king tries to box with Mark Marrow. Of course, that doesn't work out with him. He starts using the rope-a-dope strategy. He says he's going to use. You familiar with the rope-a-dope strategy, Glenn?
Yes,
With I think
the
Muhammad Ali.
greatest. The greatest. Yeah.
Ali used to do that. Did you watch a lot of Ali fights, and did you get him over there, or have you watched him in later years?
I was quite young when
Yeah,
they
I
used to
figured.
be on. So I'd be sneaky with my radio, the little headphones on my radio underneath the covers, listening to the boxing.
I get it. So it would be like me when I was a little kid, and my parents would send me to bed, and then they would watch Saturday Night's Main Event, and I would like come down the stairs and peek around the corner.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah.
The only time I would get to stay up and watch it is if my dad was like doing something, or he was like gone, or he was working late. My mom would let me stay up and watch it, but my dad never would. So yeah, Brian Christopher then gets up, says he's going to get Sable's phone number, so he keeps bothering her the entire match. The King misses a fist drop from the middle rope. Marrow then finally sees Brian Christopher trying to hit on his woman. The King hits a pile driver and then looks like he's going to go for the win, but Sable breaks up the pin. So the King wins by DQ, and Marrow is very unhappy with Sable because of this, even though he would have lost anyway.
I suppose the only good thing about this storyline is the fact that we didn't have Brian Christopher screeching on commentary the whole time.
Yeah, thank God. That was not good. So then they tell us about the big Vince McMahon interview. And then they showed one of these cool new attitude videos that they're showing, and I wanna have a look at one of them. Well, let's watch.
Yes, please. Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. I'm not a real athlete. I'm just a wrestler. I'm 6'10", 328 pounds. I was a consensus All-American. Football for the Dallas Cowboys. My jersey was retired at Florida State.
I was the ultimate fighting champion.
When you step through those ropes, bad things do happen. Had over 200 stitches.
I suffered a dozen concussions.
Broken bones.
I've separated shoulders.
Damn near broke my neck.
Blown out knees.
But I still got up. This is who I am. This is what I do. I'm not really an athlete. This isn't real. Try lacing my boots.
Yeah, so I thought those were really cool.
Yeah. And at least they didn't say, don't try this at home.
Well, they probably should have, but
well, no, because soon as you tell a kid not to try that at home, what are they going to do?
Oh, it didn't fucking matter anyway, Glenn. I was a kid then, and we were pal driving each other. We didn't care.
Exactly.
You could have told us until you're blue in the face not to do that. We weren't listening.
No.
And then we get into the first part of the Mr. McMahon interview. I'm not going to address the man by his first name ever. I'm just going to call him Mr. McMahon from now on. I won't ever say the man's name. I'm just going to say Mr. McMahon from now on. Because we're talking about a television character at this point. I'm trying to forget about the man. I know that's ridiculous, but it's my own way of rationalizing it. I don't know. So he asked him, of course, the question of all questions: did you screw Bret Hart? And he gives the answer, of course, that everyone remembers. Bret screwed Bret. Blah blah blah. He said the ref didn't do it, the timekeeper didn't do it, Bret did it. He could look in the mirror and know that. I don't know, Glenn. What did you think about all of this?
It was a pile of crap. It sounded like Vince McMahon trying to cover his ass for something he blatantly did.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. It was just total nonsense.
And then he even like to go into like say like, oh, Brett, got 3-year and $3 million deal. I don't know if that's really right for another man to get on TV, and I don't know. I just didn't.
Mhm.
I don't know. I get he was trying to save face or whatever, but yeah,
Yeah.
there was a whole lot of bullshit in this.
Hmm.
An immense amount of bullshit.
And he goes on about how Brett wasn't um, following the tradition, and
Yeah,
it all just left a bad taste, really.
yeah, absolutely. I was the most disappointed about this entire interview, Glenn, when it was over and they informed me that there was going to be a part 2.
Up to yeah.
I literally was like, no, why do we need a part 2? That was painful enough. I don't want to watch anymore.
On the Scott's blog of doom, there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
little note at the end of this where here it says, "Coming later, part 2 of the interview. That one's got to have a high bar of bullshit to clear after this one."
Yeah, no shit. You got to get your fucking boots on, your raincoat, and your fucking umbrella because the bullshit's raining down in there.
It certainly is.
That's the thing I say to people. If I'm going somewhere and I know somebody's going to be there who's full of shit, I go, man, I didn't bring my fucking rain boots. What do you mean? All the bullshit you're going to be throwing around, I'm going to need them. So then we get a tag team match. It is the Los Barriquas, which is Samuel Vega and Miguel. They tell us that they're very upset because someone has ransacked their locker room. And Glenn, can you tell me who ransacked their locker room?
Oh, well, could it be the new Outlaws by any chance? As they came down in nearly everything that they could have taken out of Los Barriquas changing room.
They even put the Los Barriquas music back on. And
Yeah.
Don Garrett's like, oh, we got a mistake here. They're playing their music again. And then here these motherfuckers come and all their jewelry and all their shit.
Yeah.
It was probably the best part of the show.
It was.
Which isn't saying a lot. Obviously, then they start brawling on the ramp. There was no match. They just start fighting, and then the rest of the Los Barriquas hit the ring.
Yeah, brawl. That's it.
And then they showed us a video about how cool Ken Shamrock is, which is good because people didn't already know.
That's what I got from that.
Ken Shamrock
hit people
and slam them. Yes,
and slam them.
He's a hitter and a slammer.
Yep.
My takeaway from that entire segment. And then Sunny makes her way down to the ring for a minis match. And of
dressed
course,
as a referee.
What'd you say?
I said dressed as a referee, not even just announcing it.
Oh, she's going to join the minis match.
Yes.
Which, that's not a porn, is it? Sunny with midgets?
No,
I'm sorry.
I've not come across that one. No.
No, you haven't seen that one? Okay, never mind. Wait, Glenn, if there's going to be a minis match, then that only means one thing, right?
Yes, we better introduce the mayor.
We got to bring the mayor in here. So let's bring the mayor in. Let's watch this minis match. Let him get a look at Sunny the referee. Ask him if he's seen that movie or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get back to your regularly scheduled program. As promised, the mayor is here with me and Glenn, and we are ready to watch some minis. Mayor of Canton, are you here and ready to watch some minis?
There's nothing more ready than I am to watch a minis match. Like you could call me at 4:45 a.m. and be like, "You want to watch a minis match?" Hell yeah, turn that on.
Let's fucking do it. All right. Well, here we go, pal. It's time. We're gonna have to see Sunny first.
This is peak Sunny though, so
yeah. Can you sing Sunny's theme song?
Wait, that's Dude Love. Why am I singing Dude Love? Or is that close to Sunny's? Why am I confusing them?
I'm not doing it. I wanted you to do it.
Okay.
Can you confirm or deny Sunny with Midgets? Is that a porn movie or no? Glenn said he hasn't seen that one.
A Night in Sunny?
That's definitely one of them, I think. That guy made his out of a cardboard box. That's nice.
Oh, is that Sergeant Slaughter?
That's Mini Sergeant Slaughter. Yes.
Not wishing to sound an expert on the subject, but I think that was a night in China, and the sunny one was sunny side up.
Oh,
Whoa. That all sounds disgusting, to be honest with you.
It was.
now when
that all
we're saying a night in China, we're speaking like the time of the day, not like a Leaping Lanny Poffo showing up in a full suit of armor, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I don't think so. I never saw it, but
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
We got Max Mini and Nova. I don't know who the little guy is.
Which one? They're all little guys.
I mean, the little guy in the middle of the black on the
Okay.
babyface team.
Oh my God,
Did Sunny just give the timekeeper her gum?
I think so.
I am not taking that. I don't know what's been in your mouth. No.
I know. I can name a lot of things that have, but
Yeah, you know what? Good point.
Yes, it has been.
Here we go. Mini Sergeant Slaughter's in here with Nova. Mini Sergeant Slaughter probably weighs more than I do, at least by double. And he's a mini.
Yeah, he's a hefty mini, isn't he?
yeah. What's he doing?
I look like they were dancing.
Oh wow!
You know, let's watch that again.
It was a leg scissors, but it was like the little kid
Arriba!
scissors.
Yeah, I like it.
Arriba.
Gives you the hey.
There we go. Wow. Sergeant Slaughter all the way out there.
That was more like a leg
tags in-
tweezers.
Not Nova. I have no idea what this guy's name is. I wish I did.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look.
Flippity Doodah's in the ring here with El Torito, the original,
Mm-hmm.
not the one in the WLC match.
It's Mike Roche.
That's him, Tora. Because I said it was a load of balls.
I'm sorry, you. The mayor killed me with.
Oh my God! What was that boot? Can you rewind that? I don't want to slow the podcast down anymore, but that boot.
The brown probe here.
Boom! I can't even call it a big boot because it was a little boot. But
It was a
was a
tiny
little-
boot. Yeah. A mini boot. I like
he
it.
hit him with all size 4 of that shoe.
What you gonna do when the brown probe puts his 4-inch pythons on you?
Sonny's had a few 4-inch pythons put on her.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry. No, I'm not.
this is going downhill real fast.
We
It's
expected
what
it.
I've come to expect. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's why you were
Original.
invited.
Whee!
We've gotten to be weirder on Wednesday nights than we ever were on Fridays, and I don't know how that is, but
I don't know.
no.
Not so
I'm
late in the
not,
week.
I'm not completely burnt out on Wednesday where I am on Friday.
Maybe that's what it is. Oh, big close. I'm gonna say this went on longer than I remembered that it did because I thought it ended pretty quick, but it's still going.
Who is this guy? I don't think I've even noticed him this entire match.
Is that the spider guy? Like El Tarantula or something like that?
You might be right.
I'll find out in a sec. Sorry.
You
Yeah, no,
really
you're good,
whiffed on
bud.
that one.
You
This
are
guy's so
good.
small, he looks like R2D2.
A little bit. That's Max. No, that's a Nova. This is Max Mini.
Yeah, Minnie's actually good. He moves around
Yeah.
like Braun Breaker in there.
AKA Massagria Sangrata Jr. Uh-oh. Lights out.
Is it the House of Black?
I think it's a hell of a lot of bad news for the fucking minis, is what I think this means.
It is. Watch them run.
Oh,
This is hilarious the way they run.
oh no. I'd run. I'm not even a mini.
It's not the mayor of
Yes,
Stark County.
I don't even want to. I want just like a whole montage video of them running around the ring as Kane comes down. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's playing with the tennis racket.
He should just run under the ring. He doesn't have to crawl under it. He just runs under it.
Runs under it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we interrupt your minis match because the Monster Kane headed on down to the ring. Glenn, how how terrified were you when this happened that you thought he was going to destroy the midgets? Because I was very scared.
I was as well. It was hilarious the way they ran.
Yeah, that was great.
Hiding behind Jim Cornette and Jim Ross, and one of them, I think it was Max Mini has managed to get hold of Jim Cornette's tennis racket, and he's sort of waving it again.
Yes, yeah, that was great. That was great. I was literally like, no, don't hurt them. I don't want to hurt them.
Thankfully, we got the headbangers in to be hurt instead.
But like, why the headbangers? The headbangers are weird circus people, so they love minis, so they can't stand for this.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so they come out here and break their boombox over Kane's head, but that does nothing. They both come off the top rope with drop kicks. That does nothing.
I'd love to know where they're buying these bloody boom boxes. As being an adult that was around at that time and having one, those shit was big and heavy.
Yeah.
And yet every time they hit somebody with one, it just sort of shatters into 1,000 pieces.
If you hit one with someone like one of the big ass ones they had in the 80s, you
Yeah.
fucking might kill somebody with that shit. It'd be
That's
over.
Exactly. Yeah. It's exactly. So where are they? Was there a Temu or something at the time where they could buy these?
It was a JVC Kaboom box.
Yeah.
I don't think they were selling those yet, but I'm pretty sure at some point during the Attitude Era, they were pushing JVC Kaboom boxes. I fucking know they were.
Oh, gosh, yeah. They would have been.
So, yeah, Kane then tombstones, choke slams and tombstones, both of them, and he's off to terrorize another Raw.
They were stiff.
Well, they hit him with a boombox, Glenn.
Yeah, but both of those pole drivers, he actually physically dropped them on their heads. There was
Well,
no.
if you know anything about Glenn Jacobs now, Glenn Jacobs then probably didn't think men should be wearing skirts. So
No, that's probably right.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that.
There's none of the control of the Undertaker. So I'll bring my knees down after your head hits the mat.
Right. Yeah, if he had given that tombstone to Hulk Hogan would have had something to complain about the 91 Survivor Series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then we get the whole restart of the second hour. Wow, what an eventful first hour, right, Glenn? My God.
Oh yeah. Can't wait for the second hour. It's so
exciting. Bated breath. So Rick Rude brings DX to the ring. I'm pretty sure this is the last week we'll see Rick Rude because he's on Nitro and Raw this week. So
Jim Cornette with a little peek behind the curtain. Where he said, "Boy, this guy gets around."
Oh, I must have missed that, but that's really good. You know they added that in post too. They were like, "Jim, say something about him." Yeah, you know they did. So let's hear a little bit of what Shawn Michaels has to say about Ken Shamrock.
Mm-hmm.
Ken Shamrock, let me make one thing perfectly clear. What you did last week is not beat the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. That was not a sanctioned match, and that happened because of Sergeant Slaughter, which we will address later. Ken Shamrock, you want some of the Heartbreak Kid? You want some respect from Degeneration X? I got news for you, Ken Shamrocks. DX respects absolutely nobody. Now, you say that I better be careful about mentioning your buddy Bret Hart. Well, first off, I ran his ass out of the World Wrestling Federation. I've beaten every single member of his family. So there's only one thing really left for the Heartbreak Kid, the World Wrestling Federation champion, the European champion, to do, and that is start beating the hell out of Bret Hart's friends. And if that's you, Ken Shamrock.
Okay.
Yeah, Brett and Ken Shamrock, good buddies.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah, weren't they on opposite teams at Survivor Series?
They were. I thought they were feuding like a month ago, weren't they?
Yep. Yeah, they were.
I don't know. I guess it's a good way to
Yeah.
understand whether there's a feud between Michaels and Shamrock, but it doesn't really make any logical sense if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So Triple H then gets on the mic too and calls Sergeant Slaughter out to the ring, and the Sarge comes on down and he gets in and he does the old 1, 2, 3 for his unsanctioned 3 count with the match last week, I guess. And Shawn Michaels goes, "Thanks for clapping for me," which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Triple H gets in his face, tells him that they run the WWF, that they make the rules, they enforce the rules, anybody get that through his head. He says Sarge's old lady isn't impressed with his privates. He then makes some boner jokes, and then I think he even said he was going to go over and do some nefarious things to Mrs. Slaughter, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah, it's typical at the time.
Yeah, and so finally the Sarge has enough of this, and he just slaps him in the face. But then of course DX beats the living crap out of the WWF commissioner in the middle of the ring. They hit him with the briefcase a couple times. They give him a pedigree, and then they threw toilet paper around the ring. I didn't understand that part.
No,
because it wasn't even. I don't know. I didn't get it. I was like, why? Why are we throwing toilet paper?
Yeah, they weren't even selling the Sarge spitting, were they? Even they were mopping up the floor after.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get it. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. So then we get into another first round match in the light heavyweight tournament. It's Scott, don't call me Scotty Too Hotty, not just yet, Taylor, versus a man named Eric Shelley, who I've never heard of in my life. Have you?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we've encountered him as a jobber before.
That shows that you've got a better memory than I, Glenn, because...
Yeah, well, you know what I'm like with my jobbers back in...
That's true.
Back in the day.
That's a good point. But the bad news for this match is nobody gives a shit about it because we've got a phone interview with Jeff Jarrett.
Exactly.
He's got big news, Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be spending his day working hard on the go because his hands on the clock keep spinning too slow. I can't wait for Jeff Jarrett's debut on Monday Night Raw next week. I'm sorry, Dan.
Or tomorrow, as he mistakenly said.
Did he say? Oh, he did say tomorrow.
There's something reminded him that this is being pre-taped and it'd be next week.
Yeah, because it actually was tomorrow. He phoned in from the backstage area because he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the crowd wasn't into the match. They didn't really do a whole lot that was interesting. And plus, the whole thing was just about the Jeff Jarrett interview. So,
yep.
Scott Taylor won with a top rope DDT.
Yes. And that's it.
In one of the few wrestling matches of the evening.
Yeah.
And now it's time to hear the crazy barkings of a madman because here comes Mark Merrill back down to the ring. And he's got something he wants to say, Glenn.
They must have just gone up there in a sports utility vehicle or something. Because there's so few people on this show.
Yeah, they put everybody in a fucking Honda and drove them, a Honda Civic and drove them up to the show. Let's hear what a crazy man's got to say.
My woman, my property has been being stalked, and the World Wrestling Federation has done nothing to help me. She's being stalked by this giant, fat, Pillsbury boxing wannabe, and he's sitting right there. Butterbean. I don't want to see you wave to Sable. I don't want to see you look at her. You're just like all these people that chant, Sable, Sable, Sable.
Oh, he's lost it. This guy is
I
bringing it up, folks.
want to kick your butt, and I want to do it right now. Come on. I'm calling you out, Butterbean. You're not a boxer. I'm a boxer. I'm a 5-time New York State Golden Glove champion. You beat nobody. You can't even beat yourself. Come over here.
Butterbean won the Tough Man contest 18 times. He's also a professional boxer, and he's coming over the rail. There's his manager coming with him. Mero has lost it. Somebody get this guy a cold claw. He is a raving maniac. And look at Butterbean. It's the biggest set of Zubaz I've ever seen in my life. Are we going to have a fight? Or are we going to...
I told you, don't you ever look at Sable. Don't you ever touch her. And don't you ever come by the arena again, or I'm going to knock you out. Do you understand me, you fat ass?
Jeez. Wait a minute now. Looks like Butterbean's going to square off with Mero down.
Amazing. He didn't say that to Brock Lesnar, did he?
Oh, well, that was not on TV. Yeah, I wouldn't either. I would not either. So I haven't looked at the card, but I'm almost 100% certain that we're getting Butterbean versus Mero at In Your House Generation X.
Yes, that's what they said.
What? Oh, did they say it?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. You can't feel sorry for Butterbean, really. And I don't know he actually knew what having a promo cut on him was all about.
Or he's really good at selling it.
Yeah, I suppose.
The guy in the green jacket's brave, because if he just shoved me once, that would have been enough for me to say, all right, I'm bringing up nothing.
Yeah.
I've done my job here. I
I
tried.
suppose you have to- and those pants he had on, I suppose you have to be built like Butterbean to wear those, even back in 1947.
Dude, those are the biggest pair of U.S. pants I've ever seen. Yeah, that was great. Then we get something that wasn't more great, more self-serving bullshit. Interview part 2. They asked him
Can we just fast forward through this? Go.
Yeah, we can. Vince McMahon said, and then it's time for Goldust versus Vader, sort of.
Another thing that if it wasn't so quick, it would have been fast forward through.
Yeah, it felt like an eternity.
I don't know what Goldust had on his face. Is that somebody who'd been playing checkers on him?
Yeah, he did. And then Jim Cornette said it was something, but I couldn't remember what he said it was. A tennis racket or something like that?
Yeah.
No, he couldn't have said tennis racket. That would have been too obvious.
So,
of course, if you'll remember, Vader was the captain of Team America at Survivor Series, the illustrious Team America that had Mark Mero and Steve Blackman on it. But Goldust, of course, walked out. But in this match, he's got pantyhose, a big gold shirt, and a cast on his arm. And I'm not making this up.
Nope. And hidden in the cast.
What'd you say?
And hidden in the cast.
Yeah, because he's telling Vader he can't wrestle tonight. Vader says he doesn't believe it. He whips out something. I think it was a hammer, wasn't it?
A hammer. Mm-hmm.
He whips out a fucking hammer and hits Vader in the head with it.
And I must say,
a fucking hammer.
That was a good bit of convulsing from Vader. At least he looked like he'd been hit by a hammer.
He didn't look like he'd been hit by a hammer because his fucking forehead wasn't caved in.
Yeah.
I haven't checked Vader's ancestry.com. Pretty sure he ain't Samoan. So if you get hit that with a fucking hammer.
Well, it's Vader though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but fuck, it's a hammer. So yeah. Vader's fucked up. He got hit in the head with a hammer.
Yeah, and Goldust just walks off.
I don't know if his arm's really broken or not. I'm not sure, but he has a hammer.
This show really sucks.
This show was
sorry, folks. We try and be positive with this. If you have got some arsehole going to you on how wonderful the Attitude Era was compared to what wrestling today, just point them in the direction of this Raw is War. They had
I
the
mean, and
shock
last
realize-
week's wasn't good either.
No, but this is even worse.
Yeah, no, this was down a lot. And then we'll talk about when we look at the ratings. And I don't know how they managed to get people to come back and watch after last week. And I don't know how the fuck they're going to get people to come back and watch after this week because it was god awful. We didn't get another short little Attitude Era video with Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I thought was really cool. Let's take a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Sportsmanship? What a load of crap. Don't preach your morality to me. Steve Austin doesn't have any compassion. You want mercy? Take your ass to church.
You want mercy? Take your ass to church. Great.
That was pretty awesome. I feel like it's gonna get copyrighted, and I won't be able to put that on the video. Won't be able to put that on the show. But
You could see why though people say that Steve Austin carried the Attitude Era, especially in the early days.
yeah, in these days he was. I mean, other than DX, maybe he was the only thing.
Yeah.
Especially right now. Then we come back from a commercial break, and Sergeant Slaughter is healed, recuperated, not even a scratch on him after that briefcase to the face and to the pedigree.
No.
He gets in the ring. He cut a promo like it was 1980.
Yeah.
Didn't you feel like that?
Yeah, it was a bit, yeah. Have I got any notes on it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, giving up his combat fatigues and sports jacket.
Yeah, so like, what was Sergeant Slaughter doing before he came back to be the fucking commissioner? Was he serving? I don't think he was.
No.
He was like fucking 50.
I don't think he ever served, did he?
No, I don't think so either. He might claim that he did, but I'm pretty sure he didn't.
No.
Sorry, Robert.
Yeah, we apologize if you did.
I'm gonna look it up, but I'm pretty sure he didn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't either.
He talks about how fans booed him, and JR said he was drunk with power.
Mm.
He calls Triple H a maggot, and they are going to have a match in your house DX. So, Glenn, scale of 1 to 5, 1 star to 5 star. How much star of a match do you think Sergeant Slaughter versus Hunter Assembly is going to be? How many stars do you think it's going to get? A half? I think that's pretty fucking. I think that's pretty high praise, Glenn. I don't even know if it's gonna get. I don't even know if it's gonna be worth a half. I'm pretty sure it's like a boot camp match, so it's gonna be like a no DQ match or some shit like
It's
that.
going to have to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're not going to get a technical wrestling match out of Sergeant Slaughter at that age.
Yeah, definitely. And then something crazy happened, Glenn. We got a wrestling match finally at the end of the show.
Yes.
It wasn't very long, but it was finally a wrestling match.
Mm-hmm. So Kane killed off Mankind. Brought back Dude Love.
Now Dude Love is here.
Yeah.
The Dudester. So yeah, the Nation of Domination comes down with The Rock. He's going to take on Dude Love. He's got the Intercontinental Championship belt around his waist. He gets on the mic and says he wants to let everybody know that this match is not for the Intercontinental Championship. He says people have been calling me a thief, but I'm not a thief. Everyone knows that when I was the Intercontinental Champion, I was the best damn Intercontinental Champion that there was. And then we get in. I mean, it's crazy. These two are going to have some pretty iconic matches over the years. These two together, maybe never the Dude Love character itself, but Mankind for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
The people hate The Rock. They hate him.
Yeah.
They were
getting the first
Rock sucks throughout.
Yeah. Getting the original Rocky chance.
Yeah.
But at least he embraced it.
Yeah.
Unlike in the early days, he was getting it when they were trying to make him a baby face.
Yeah, and that didn't work. You can even see like he's getting like an edge to his in-ring work too. I know when he first moved to the Nation, he was still kind of wrestling that babyface style that he was doing when he was Rocky Maivia.
Yeah.
But he's kind of got an edge to him now that you can definitely see when he works in the ring. So that's definitely a good thing. He even did a people's elbow in this match, which I think he's been doing it for a couple weeks now. But
yeah, they're still calling him Rocky Maivia, but he's definitely more The Rock now than Rocky Maivia anymore.
I think that JR referred to him as The Rock one time. I think he said The Rock, and then he corrected himself and said Rocky Maivia. I think I could be wrong, but so yeah, Dude Love slams Rocky's head to the turnbuckle a few times. He hits the sweet shin music and then the double arm DDT. He goes for the pin, but of course the Nation hits the ring because no Nation of Domination match cannot end in a disqualification, as you know if you've been listening to this show for every episode.
Yeah, nothing ends in it. Nothing can end in not a disqualification in this on this show.
Absolutely not. So they're holding Dude Love up. It looks like The Rock's going to hit him with the Intercontinental Championship belt. But then Stone Cold Steve Austin hits the ring. Of course, Rock bails out, gets up the ramp with the championship as Dude Love and Austin fight off the Nation. And D'Lo eats another stunner, his second stunner of the night. It's a bad night to be D'Lo Brown.
Yeah.
And that is what happens as the show goes off the air. And what was probably the second best part of the night, other than the New Age Outlaws pretending to be the Los Boricuas.
What you mean? It going off air?
And it going, going off air is not my number one favorite part. The New Age Outlaws was my number 2, and this was my number 3. You're right. That is fair. So there you have it. That is this episode of Monday Night Raw, which I can say was dreadful.
Was really bad.
All thumbs down, Glenn.
I haven't got enough thumbs.
No, you don't.
This is just a big fat goose egg.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was really bad.
It was bad. Now I have a confession to make. Speaking of bad, last week when I read you the results of Monday Nitro, I read you the results of the wrong week. I read you the results of this week's last week. So, do you remember them?
I don't, to be honest.
No, you don't. Of course not, because I don't remember them either until I read these back. I'm like, wait, these are the same matches. It was Ming defeated Glacier, Alex Wright defeated Steve Mongo, McMichael, Rey Mysterio defeated Chris Jericho, Diamond Dallas Page defeated Falano number 5, Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko ended in a double countout. Saturn defeated Scotty Riggs, Lex Luger defeated Kurt Angle, and not Kurt Angle, that would have been something. Kurt Hennig, because Kurt Angle was not there. He was in the Olympics, I think. No, I think it was in 96. Never mind. And the Giant defeated Scott Hall via disqualification. And to be honest with you, I would have rather watched Nitro.
Yeah. A lot of disqualifications, though.
Lots of disqualifications, but at least they had some actual matches.
Yeah, that's true.
The rating went slightly down for WWF this week. It went from a 3.39 to a 3.14. And WCW again beat them by a full point, and WCW got a 4.13. But it's a miracle that they're even able to keep it into the 3s.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about next week how it's going to stay into the 3s. And maybe next week will be better. But this week, if I had watched this week, I would have probably not tuned in the next week.
Yeah, they probably just relying on people videoing it. And taking those numbers into account as well.
Like people recording it on their VCR or something?
Yeah. Watching Nitro and recording Raw or whatever.
Yeah, that was a thing people did back in the day. I know most people out there probably don't remember VCRs, but I do.
Yeah, so do I.
Well, I know you do, Glenn. You remember A-Track.
Yeah, I do.
I know you do, pal.
I remember vinyl.
Well, vinyl's coming back. My son is currently collecting all the Taylor Swift vinyls. So
yeah, that's fine until you actually want to carry him around.
Yeah. He's got like one of those record players that you can just like fold up in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think he's got a holder for him too right now. But you're right, CDs. Now you just carry it around on your phone.
Yeah. But I was so glad when CDs came around and get rid of all my beer crates.
When you're a DJ carrying around, yeah, I've seen House Party, Glenn. They have a hard time getting all those records in the back of Play's mom's car.
That's right.
Yeah. We mentioned House Party a lot on this show. I love that movie. That's a great movie.
It is a great movie, yeah.
Go watch House Party. Not 2 or 3 or any other House Party. Just the first one. Just the first one.
Don't bother with this.
Yeah.
Don't bother with this Raw. Go and watch
If
House
you're gonna watch
Parties.
this Raw, just go watch House Party instead.
Yeah.
Tune in next week as we will be reviewing House Party. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. But don't be surprised if we watch a Manifest Wrestling episode and I turn that episode into a House Party story, because I might. You never know.
Yeah.
So that is it this week for Warring to Attitude. Glenn, why don't you go ahead and give us the plugs that you need to give before we get out of here?
I'm booking the Taketori with Danny and Rob. The first and last of wrestling, their little side projects being the Elite Geek Golf, but now they're flipping water bottles and God knows what. Unstacking the Dadatori, the journey to 1981 Wembley Arena, where 18 million people watch Big Daddy versus Giant Haystacks. And of course,
the Doctor Who podcast with Danny Inside. I have it on great authority that Glenn's going to be appearing on that show soon.
I am.
Check that out. That is on SJP World Media. I saw the, I believe it was Cy and another gentleman were doing a review show on their YouTube page, and I don't remember what wrestling show they were reviewing. I believe it was an In Your House. But yeah, check out SJP World Media on YouTube if you don't subscribe already. Check it out, and on all your podcast apps, obviously.
Yes, yeah. And of course, DDT Wrestling with DC and Doc.
Cannot forget about those fine gentlemen. And of course, if we're speaking of fine gentlemen, don't forget to follow the mayor of Canton on the X. He does a meal with the mayor every Wednesday where he tries some different food, so he can tell you if it's good enough to try for you to try, or if he can tell you that it's not good, like Noodles and Company. Noodles and Trash is what it should be called. Anyway, but check that out and give the mayor a follow. Of course, he is always a fun guy to follow. He's very funny, especially when he gets angry. I like him when he doesn't know it, but he's funniest when he's angry.
He definitely is. The nastier the food, the more entertaining it is.
It really is. And of course, give our buddy Thomas Bryce a follow on all social media. Just search Thomas Brice. He is the man with the plan. Subscribe to the Sports Wire Radio YouTube page and check out that website, sportswireradio.com, and hit that listen live button. You'll hear our show and many other great shows. Make sure you check all that stuff. And check out the other shows we got going on. We got the Life and Times of Psycho Sid. He is back in the WWF, in the $1 Million Corporation. He is teaming with Tatanka to bore us to tears and some terrible matches. Hopefully it gets better this week.
Hopefully, after today.
Oh God, it can't get any worse, Glenn. It can't get any worse. I spoke about Memphis Wrestling. We will be doing a Memphis Wrestling episode this week, so that'll be out on Sunday. There's a new AWI Pod Worldwide out right now that you can enjoy. And that's it. I don't think I have anything else to say. Glenn, why don't you say goodbye?
Goodbye.